I'm quitting TBRs. Hey friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Tori. First of all, I just want to appreciate the fact that I now have a very comfy sitting reading chair for my little book nook here, and I'm very excited about it because the office chair was fun to swing around in, but it's not that comfortable to sit in. Let's get into it. I'm quitting Booktube TBRs, and I'm going to talk a little bit about my experience with Booktube, why I've chosen to quit doing TBR videos and just setting up TBRs in general, and a little bit about why I think Booktube changes the reading experience and just from my own personal perspective. So as we know, for many of us, Booktube does change the way we read, whether you're a content creator or you're just a subscriber and following along and reading books alongside your favorite content creators. Your reading style can change so slowly over such a long period of time that you suddenly look back one day and you realize how different it was. I was looking back at how my reading experience and process was before I started Booktube, and even at the very beginning of my Booktube journey, and now, and how drastically it has changed. And that's one of the reasons why I'm doing a little bit of a reflection and step back on this, because I feel like the TBRs especially kind of represent the core of what has changed the most. And there's a lot of factors to that, so let's get into it. The first thing that has changed is starting all of the series and finishing none. How many videos have we all seen, many of whom are people that I'm very close to, that are posting that they don't finish series. They start a lot of series and they have all of these series hanging over their heads. They have book ones or book 1 and 2s done from a ton of different series, and they never get a chance to actually go back and finish, because as soon as they've finished book 1 or even book 2, their attention gets pulled away by a different set of books, a different author, etc., a read along, anything going on in the community. It's very distracting, and it's very difficult to stay focused on a specific series, especially when it's longer than a couple of books. Now, part of this is because as content creators, it is difficult because we're put in a position where we want to make content and we want to make new and exciting content. And if we're talking about the same series over a long period of time, you know, for some people that can start to get old and boring. So there is a little bit of a drive as content creators to push on to the next series, to try somebody else, to have new recommendations for our audiences. I fell into the trap of trying to taste test essentially as many authors as I possibly could so that I would have more books to talk about. I could join in on more discussions. I could, you know, make new recommendation lists. And what that did is I feel like I only ever got a tiny sip. I was never really actually drinking the entire glass of water, if that makes sense. And so you get all of this little bits, and it's never actually really quenching your thirst for that reading experience that we all know and love. And I really wanted to find that again. Also, it gets very overwhelming when you have all of these outstanding series that you haven't finished, that you think about on the regular, and you're like, okay, I know that I really want to go back and finish that series at some point, but where am I going to fit it into my schedule, because this TBR is full and next month is full, and it can get very overwhelming very quickly. Let's talk about pressure and FOMO, shall we? Okay, so I want to start this by saying that a lot of the pressure that I've been feeling, I'm putting on myself. So that is not something that I feel from my audience, so I want to make sure that that's clear, because I am the type of person who has no trouble putting a ton of pressure on myself. Like, I don't need anybody else's help for that. So it's nothing external to me other than just the incredible amount of content that exists, and it is very exciting because I have all of these friends and all of these audience members who are reading incredible books, and I want to be able to talk about it with them. And it becomes a pressure that I put on myself to say, well, if I read all of the books, then I can talk to all of the people about all of the series and all of the authors, and I can join in all of the discussions, because that's the type of person I am. So I've been putting a lot of pressure on myself to be able to recommend a wide variety of books to you guys to really have a lot of understanding of the genre as a whole and all of the series and authors that exist within it, I started realizing that I was focusing more on reading for content than reading for pleasure. Now, to some degree, I feel like that's when we take on the role of content creator. If it's something that we're taking seriously, there is a measure of that that's going to exist, right? And that's fine. But when you completely lose that kind of reading for pleasure aspect to it, I think that's definitely a point where we need to take a step back as creators and really search and figure out what excites us, where we want to see ourselves moving forward, what do we want to be reading and why? And I think those questions are really important ones to ask. I'm also at a point in my journey where I'm letting go of the fact that I have to, nobody put that pressure on me, but I have to read a specific canon of books to be able to talk about the genre. We all know that kind of canon of authors that always end up on all of the top 10 lists, who are the tried and true, the big names, the big series that everybody knows about. And it's really tempting to want to be able to know them all and be able to say, oh yeah, I know about that, I read those, and I can include myself in the discussion. But I've also recognized that some of those canon series I won't enjoy. And I know myself as a reader well enough to know that at this point, and so I don't feel the need anymore to force myself through a series that I don't think I'm going to enjoy. Now, I'm never going to say never on any of these, but there are some books, knowing what I like and knowing my history of reading, that aren't going to jive with me. And that's okay. I enjoy listening to people who do love them talk about them, and that's honestly the fun part anyway. Let's talk about mood reading. Mood reading is another topic you hear going around Booktube a lot, and I think that's valid because it's an important topic when it comes to reading experience. And I haven't felt that I have the space to mood read for a long time. And I think I've been mentioning it on my channel quite a lot, where I'll say, oh, this month I'm gonna make more time for mood reading. And oh, for sure this month. I know I did a horrible job last month, but I know for sure I'm gonna do a good job. I'm gonna mood read this month. I'm gonna give myself a break. And it never happens. That TBR fills up so easily and so quickly. I finally have gotten to a point where I'm like, okay, if I'm actually going to mood read and I'm actually going to prioritize that, I need to make some drastic changes in order to make that happen, because otherwise that TBR is just going to keep filling up. Now, I know that a lot of people love having TBRs as a guideline. I have quite a few friends that have very, very specific TBRs. They have months in advance planned out and they like it that way, and that's awesome. For me personally, I have a hard time with that. The way that my brain works, that just makes me feel kind of boxed in, and when I feel like I have to read a book and it's not necessarily just, oh, I'm picking this off the shelf because it's going to be super fun, then I start to get frustrated and it is harder for me to enjoy the books that I'm reading, and that's not what I want. Say hi, Pippin. And again, that's a me thing, so it's not something that I'm feeling pressure from anyone outside of myself. It's just, I think, natural when you are in this type of content creation to feel that pressure. Now, the exclusion to this would be buddy reads, because I do really love doing buddy reads, and I will still be doing buddy reads because I love a lot of the content that comes out of those, and I think it can be really fun to jumpstart discussions when you're all talking about the same books and you really have great variety of perspectives on the same book or the same series. That's really fun. So I'm not cutting out buddy reads going forward. I'm just probably going to be a little bit lighter on them and just really pick carefully which books I want to buddy read. And that leads me into my final kind of point in this video, and that is the opportunity to make more me content. And what I mean by that is this. Last year, I was making 3 videos a week and really focusing on the consistency of my channel. I was wanting to focus on every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I had a video coming out, and then even when I started 2023, I started going back to 2 videos a week because that was a little bit more manageable. And that was fine, but one of the things that does or can do is it can make it harder to really spend time and brain power on the videos that you're putting out, because you kind of fall into the, oh shoot, I need a video for Friday, let me do a quick, you know, TBR video or a book haul. Which, nothing against either of those two types of videos. I've made a lot of them myself, but it can be easier to fall into the just putting out content to keep up with that consistency. And I think that that can be a little bit of a lid on creativity. It is a lot harder for me to put a lot of brain power into the deep dive videos. Those videos are some of my favorites to make. They take a lot more time and energy, and I want to be able to give myself the space to do them. And I'm talking about videos like my how to review indie fantasy, my Felicen deep dive, the clean fantasy video that I just did. I really enjoy doing those deeper dive topics and really delving into some in-depth conversations about reading and books, and I don't feel like I've given myself the space to really explore a lot of that. So I want to do more of that going forward. And especially, you know, I've been on Booktube for 3.5 years now, and when you're first starting out, it's a process trying to figure out who you are as a content creator, what kind of a channel you want to have, what kind of community you want to build. And I'm so blessed by the community that we've established around this channel, and I am so grateful for the subscribers that I have. You guys are incredible. The engagement and interaction on this channel have been amazing, and I love that. I love the community that we've been able to build around this channel, and I am so grateful to you guys for that. And I want to now go a little bit deeper and really start to dive into some of these topics and series and not, you know, give myself more time for that. When you're trying to establish a channel at first, it's really helpful to have those Booktube trend videos that you can fall back on when you are figuring yourself out. I was so grateful to have those. And especially last year when I came back to Booktube, being able to jump in and not have to figure out, oh my gosh, what do I talk about? How do I go into a deep dive right away coming back to YouTube after my hiatus was really great. And now I've established myself enough that I feel like I'm ready to start exploring my voice a little bit more. I want to not be bound to the algorithm, but still I want to create content that excites me and grows the channel. And I think that you can absolutely achieve that balance, and that's kind of what I'm looking for now. So, content to expect. There will still be books that I plan to read. I'm not going to completely mood read my way through the next few years. I'm just going to remove TBR videos from my channel completely, which is a decision that was really hard, but it's been months. I've taken months to make that decision. And I'm going to remove monthly TBRs from my reading experience for a while and just see how that goes, because I'm really excited to just be able to go to the shelf and pick up a book and be even more passionate about it and talk to you guys about how I felt about the experience. I want to focus on vlogs. I want to focus on deep dive videos. I want to focus on some more unique content ideas that I've had for a while around reading and reading experience and other people in the community, and I'm really excited to delve into that and give myself some space and some time to really utilize the time that I have on the videos that I'm making. And to all of my friends who are big TBR gurus, I admire you. I love that there's such a variety of reading and writing and content processes in this community, and I appreciate that we all have content that we have the ability to make and enjoy. Anyways, thank you guys for listening. Thank you for being here. Thank you for subscribing to my channel and making this community what it is. I have absolutely loved the experience of being here with you guys, and I cannot wait to see what videos and content is going to come in the future. I have a lot of ideas that I'm really excited to share with you guys, and I hope you're excited too. So I hope you're having an awesome week. I hope you are reading 5-star reads, and I will see you in the next video. Once again, a huge shout out to my patrons. Thank you guys so much for supporting me and the channel. I appreciate you so much. It's almost like the frog in the fly. It's almost like the frog in the fly. I can't say frying pan to save my life. Hello, can I help you? Can I help you? What do you need? Hello.